Hello Aries, welcome to a weekly reading. This is going to be for the week of the 5th going to the 11th of February, so we will dive in, see what's going on for you guys. We are clarifying this week as well, so you guys have some extra cards this week. But let's see for my lovely Aries, please Spirit. See what's going on for you guys, okay? Alrighty, so Aries, let's see. Your current energy this week is the moon, okay? So feeling some quite intense feelings and emotions. All right, we will kind of double check and clarify what this is, but you do have the Ten of Swords being on the bottom of the deck for you guys this week. So these feelings and emotions could be stemming from some sort of ending, okay? Something that happened quite abruptly, something that was quite damaging and hurtful may have happened to you and it caused a complete end. The moon could sometimes be struggling with really deep emotions, like things have been quite suppressed. This can be anything from anger, and you know, anger is literally just sadness's disguise. if that's a good way of saying it. You guys know I'm not the best with my speech, but you know, sadness in disguise, basically. And I feel like for some of you, there's something that's been peeing you off or you feel super hurt by. The Seven of Wands. All right, that's interesting because it feels like you guys are batting this away. Seven of Wands, as you can see, is about kind of trying to not let things get to you. In this deck, that's what it looks like. You're in this bubble and you're trying to not let the external impact you. For some of you, this could have been created from your external environment. So people, relationships, situations, career, maybe. It does feel like it's specific people though. Maybe it's their opinions that are trying to get to you this week, okay, or have been trying to get to you for a while. I will clarify this one more time. Why is the moon here? The Temperance. You are really trying to deal with your subconscious mind. That's not a bad thing. Because you have the moon and the sun being in the Temperance card, and the Temperance card is all about balancing and trying to find like a medium between the two, not neglecting the moon. You can't neglect your emotions, hear what you've been through and your feelings in order to balance them. We can't just forget about them and just look at the positive. That's not how life works. To actually really address core wounds, you got to kind of look at them, but bring in that sun energy, aka joy, positivity, optimism, or whatever, to bring some kind of light to a situation, to see both of them at the same time, not just one or the other. So Seven of Wands, you are trying to deal with some difficult feelings at the moment, but you are learning to balance it here. And you do have potentially a spirit guide and an angel on your shoulder here who's also trying to help you with that. Let's see your challenge for the week. For you Aries is the Knight of Cups. Again, emotions could definitely be something that could be quite challenging for you. The Knight of Cups specifically could be a love interest, okay? For some of you, it could be like a romantic partner here, or you know, someone who is quite young, maybe a little bit naive could be an issue for you. Or that could be yourself. You could be the one that's showing up as quite young and naive a little bit. The Knight of Cups, generally, if this is you, is the fact that your vulnerabilities could be a little bit of a challenge for you. I don't see it in a sense that you are... It's more of a sense of, I think, a part of you is wanting to be like open and vulnerable. And another part of you is trying to learn boundaries with somebody, or like detachment, to be honest with you. Let's clarify the Knight of Cups. The Two of Wands. That's about outgrowing a situation and looking into the future, okay? The world is your oyster. Specifically, the world is on the bottom of the deck, and the Empress. I'm going to be honest, for a lot of you, this is really about like a glow up, a major glow up when it comes down to your worth. It may have come from a difficult relationship or some sort of ending that's teaching you your strengths. That's teaching you to place boundaries with people who really don't deserve your loving nature. Your challenge is, again, that vulnerability. Because you're dealing with these intense emotions, I feel like some of you might be wanting someone back or wanting to fix a problem that wasn't really caused by you. That giving nature of yours, I think, is something that's posing itself as a challenge here because it's stopping you from really looking at the the limitlessness of the world. I can't speak. You guys should know this by now. Meaning that whatever it is that you're feeling like your heart is trying to go back to, whatever that may be, person, situation, whatever, your heart is still feeling for that, but there is something in your knowingness is that you deserve a lot better than what you've settled for, or that how someone's treated you in whatever way, work way, okay, could be an old boss here. Don't blame yourself for it. By the way, if someone is disrespecting your boundaries, Aries, that doesn't mean you drop the boundary for them. It means you drop the person. Because if someone's not respecting your boundaries, then they don't care about whether or not they disrespect you or not. Because if you need to drop a boundary to make them feel comfortable, then they just want to take you for granted, basically, is what it feels like here. Is a good friend or a good person would respect that, okay, you don't feel comfortable with something. Someone who just wants something from you doesn't care about how you feel about it. They're going to get what they want anyway. And it feels like you've been dealing with somebody who feels uncomfortable with you knowing your worth. So it's time for you to drop them so that you can actually stand in your self-worth. Here's what it feels like. All right, what to focus on this week for you, Aries? It's a 10 of Wands. It's about releasing something and letting something go. The good thing with the 10 of Wands is the fact that you're finally going to be releasing this. You're really, really close to letting something go that's been really challenging for you. This is a card of exhaustion, being overburdened, or, carrying a lot of weight on your shoulders, whether that's baggage, whether that is just, carrying. It feels like you've been put under pressure a lot. If we're speaking about a relationship, which I am sensing for some of you, it could again be a boss or something. Like, it feels like a lot of it has been put on you. Like, for some of you, this could have been a very unrequited situation where someone wanted you to do all the work and not give you much in return. That's the unrequitedness I'm saying here. So let's just clarify that 10 of Wands. You're being asked to focus on releasing this. Let it go. You don't need to work yourself into the ground to be able to be deserving of something, by the way. So that is definitely a mindset I think you guys are unlearning. 10 of Wands. King of Cups. This is again, could be someone that you're dealing with, could be a water sign here that you're releasing, letting go of. But for a lot of you, because this is asking you what to focus on, it could be releasing this person. But for a lot of you, it's about letting go of something and gaining some control over your emotions. 2 of Cups here again. Could be pertaining to relationships here. Something that you're healing from. With the 4 of Swords and the 2 of Cups on the bottom of the deck here. I feel like you guys have been through something that's kind of messed with your head a little bit and your heart. That's the vibes I'm getting here. Whatever it has been, I think I'm sensing it, a little bit of anxiety or panic or blame or shame here, because it's did I do something? Is that my fault? Did I do something wrong? No, you didn't. I don't think you did anything wrong. I think you are learning a very valuable lesson about, again, what we're accepting. King of Cups. He's very mindful of his emotions, and okay, this emotion's coming up, but am I going to let it rule me? AKA anger or things like that are emotions. King of Cups is very cool, calm, collected dude. Doesn't mean he doesn't feel anger. It's that he knows how to manage his feelings. And you guys are learning how to manage your feelings, and I think this is helping you to release something that has been quite overburdening for you. All right, recent past. Page of Cups. I am really heavily sensing there's a lot of lessons being learned when it comes down to your feelings. Past, you're showing up as a Page of Cups. A challenge for you this week, so in the present, is the Knight of Cups. And what to focus on moving forward is the King of Cups. So it's like a progression. You guys are really getting a lot of emotional strength, emotional intelligence, and emotional balance. So in the past, it could have been something that came as a surprise to you, or you could have been dealing with some very intense feelings for you. In the past, let's clarify what this energy is. Strength card reversed. That's very interesting to come up like that. Again, not really having much control over our feelings or emotions, which is quite normal. From time to time, that's fine. We learn a lesson through these moments. So Page of Cups again usually comes up for me in readings where there's where there's an emotional surprise. Something comes to you as a surprise. This is not really necessarily good or a bad thing. It depends on the things that come up with it. So for example, this is a Strength card in reverse. Something like an emotional message came to you, and I think it kind of, now how do I want to word this, because it's different for everybody, of course, but the kind of vibes I'm sensing is that it made you, I'm feeling like, weak to the knees. Like whether someone said what you needed to hear, or whether someone targeted you in your feelings in general, and because there was not a lot of emotional strength, do I want to call it, like, pay attention, my words don't need to be taken literally, because I'm still struggling with my speech, as I've been saying for you guys all through your reading. So just take it how, just be mindful with my words. They're not the greatest today, but it just feels like something, because something made you feel overwhelmed, either way, good or bad. Maybe you gave in to something, or maybe you conformed to something, or maybe you gave someone the benefit of the doubt. There's just a little bit here of like, this came from a lack of strength though. And there's nothing wrong with that. We're not going to be strong all our life. We're going to have our moments, and that's fine. I'm not calling you out for anything. It just like a moment of weakness came through, and that's what is kind of calling up in the past. Or maybe again, something caused you to feel weak. An emotional message, someone targeted you where it hurts, or where they knew you were vulnerable, whatever. I don't know exactly the situation, but that's the vibes that combination is giving to me. Something's coming up as a surprise, and because of a lack of strength, something happened, or caused a lack of strength again. But you're dealing with that now, in your present energy, to be honest. The way that you're handling it now is still much better than where you have been in the past, okay? So just keep that in mind. There's still some deep, dark things under the surface that you're dealing with, but you're balancing it. You're not letting things get to you as much, okay? That's really good, by the way, to deal with. All right, anything else? Let's see your strengths this week. Queen of Swords, boundaries, discipline, coming from the mind and not the heart. And it feels like it's a fire sign message, to be honest, because Leo had like the King of Swords in their energy. But the Queen of Swords is a little bit more harsh, to be honest, because it is very stone cold. In fact, usually in the other deck, the Light Seers deck, the Cup is there, meaning her heart, her emotions are there, but they're in this kind of cage. She is completely shutting them away, and on punishment here. As you can see, the clouds are around lower. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, Aries. These clouds are below her head, so her head is clear. Okay, everything else is uncertain, but her head is clear. You know what you need to do this week. That's your strength. You know what you need to say. You know what you need to do. It's a card of discipline and boundaries. It's about truth, standing in your truth, speaking up for yourself. This is your strength this week. All right, being really clear and direct when it comes down to your knowing, when it comes down to what you logically and mentally know needs to happen, or what you need to do, or what you accept or not. That's your strength this week. It's a good card to have, actually, being there. You're not afraid to confront something this week, even if it's in your own mind, by the way. So these swords do represent truth and clarity. So where there is confusion, there's a part of you, and a part of your strength this week is that you're going to find some certainty within that. All right, let's clarify the Queen of Swords in your strengths. Ace of Pentacles. This is really good because it feels like this energy, it feels like a new energy, to be honest with you, Aries. Something that you're really just stepping into this week, or have been recently. Ace of Pentacles is a seed being planted. So what you're doing with this Queen of Swords energy will be something that you will be doing forever, whether it's boundaries, whether it's standing up for yourself, whether it's just being quite cutthroat, should I say, being quite direct, is something that you'll take with you forever, okay? Which is quite good. You know when to use it and when to being that loving energy, but you'll know when to protect it. And the Queen of Swords does protect our heart space. Am I calling you Leo? Did I call you Leo, or am I just, my brain's just a bit confused today? But anyway, this seed grants you a new beginning, all right? And being in that energy is granting you a new beginning, which is good. And it will be something that grows and evolves with you, which is good. Near future for you, Aries, is the Five of Wands. Why is it when we step into placing boundaries that, fights break out or conflicts break out? Well, it's because people are showing you their true colors now. And when people aren't getting from you what, you've been giving to them, they're going to act out because they're trying to revert things back to how they used to be. Some people don't like change. And if they don't, and you like change at the moment, you are changing or adapting or growing, or you are stepping into a new chapter, which I love. The Five of Wands, whatever is starting to oppose that, is something to be quite mindful of whether or not it deserves to be in your space. But let's clarify the Five of Wands. You have the Four of Wands here. This could be in relation to friendships or people around you. Four of Wands also is a card of celebration, by the way. So I am going to clarify this one more time. Six of Swords, Three of Swords, and the Fool. For some of you, because of the shift that you are making, you could potentially lose people who, again, don't really like or necessarily enjoy these changes. Like if you're friends with people who aren't being serious in their life and you're starting to be serious, this conflict of interest potentially could be something that causes a bit of a fallout or some tension coming through in the near future. I will say though, for some of you, this message really does feel like if there is any kind of competitive industry you're going into, I do see that the Four of Wands can be some celebration of kind of breaking free from or winning over competition or winning over something. But that's just a very small message. I do feel like that is really kind of representing a little bit of conflict in your environment. Now, Six of Swords, Three of Swords, the Full card, this is moving away from the worst of the pains. You've been through heartache, you've been through pain. In the near future, some conflict might create some heartache and pain because it might force you to move. Some of you, if you are dealing with like potential like landlord problems or whatever, or whatever it is, the Six of Swords, Three of Swords, and a Full card, you will move away from the worst of the situation and into things much calmer. You'll be dealing and healing from heartache and pain, but the Full card is the start of a new journey and also a stronger belief in the universe. It's that this card comes with trust that what is out there in this new chapter is going to be something much better than where you've come from, and it's right. All right, so again, there is a shift coming in your life. My goodness, you've been through some chaos. All right, let's see how you'll be feeling this week. Two of Wands, that's nice. A lot of your focus will be on the near future, okay? Well, actually, the distant future, the things that you want to do in your lifetime, which is this is a nice card to have, to be honest. This is saying that you are outgrowing situations and that you are looking into the world and looking into the distance and going, actually, like, what do I want to achieve in my lifetime? So that's a good energy to have in your feelings because you're expanding it. You're thinking not just about how you feel now, which could be a little bit challenging, but you're thinking about your future and longevity, which is nice. All right, Two of Wands for Aries feelings. You have the Knight of Pentacles coming through, so slow and steady movement. Some of you could be focusing on traveling or moving to different locations, like a bit further away, like new environments with that Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles represents movement and again longevity in the future, but it is a card that takes a little bit of time. So you'll be feeling a bit inspired to look into the future and to maybe plant the seeds currently so that you can get there. But patience is a virtue, which is in your current energy. So you are learning a little bit about that. Now, in terms of your environment this week, Six of Swords, yeah, there is some movement. Again, some of you could be traveling or moving homes, for example. Six of Swords is moving away from the chaos and the conflict and into something much calmer, like we've just been seeing. So it does feel like it's your environment that's caused a lot of pain and conflict that you are going to overcome, by the way. But it does mean maybe moving away from a situation because that's coming up in your environment. Yeah, there's some changes happening, but you're breaking free from quite from things that needed to change. All right, let's see. Six of Swords in the environment. Queen of Wands. It's interesting, Aries, because you're coming through now as the Queen of Wands, which is good. Some of you could be moving away from a fire sign. That could have been someone who you had issues with. All right, but this feels like this is your journey to gaining a lot more confidence and control over your life, okay? There's a lot more inspiration coming into your life once this happens, once this shift and change happens. Yeah, that Four of Swords here as well, and the Ten of Pentacles. So some of you will definitely be healing your relationship to your deservingness of abundance or your future. That 10 of Pentacles is that stability. A lot of you, this is really going to be impacting the home, for example. And your overall energy is the Sun. Wow, what a shift. Now, for some of you, you might know this already, but the Sun card is the most auspicious, lucky, happy card in the deck. So that's a really interesting card to come up as an overall energy, because what that is representing is, even though you're going through all this kind of, you've been dealing with some crap in your surroundings, and there's a very big major lesson you're learning about this, and you're having to deal with those emotions and releasing. The Sun is kind of freedom, it's joy, it's vulnerability, it's kind of being able to, again, have that freedom. So I think that's what this week is kind of symbolizing, is being free from something. And the Four of Cups is very interesting. Four of Cups is potentially you've been feeling quite bored and jaded with your life, and feeling like the things that you've been, offered here have not been that great, or have not ended that great. The Four of Cups is almost like this next thing that you get offered is kind of this rainbow. Is that something that you kind of have been deserving of? So you might not be seeing this coming, but this new beginning that's coming into your life is going to be so much better than what you've experienced. Okay, now I do have the return of the tea leaf tarot, because a lot of people have been asking for them back. So these are just some extra messages for you guys, a little bit random, but let's see what is coming in for you guys, Aries. Alrighty, now the first card I can see facing up is muddled, unclear thinking, which we did kind of have. This is just a temporary situation. All right, this is some significance around the month of October. Could have been the one that just passed. You have some family wishes coming true. You do have hidden secrets can harm you. So that's like hidden information might be quite important to know. And it did come out with seek out information that will help you. So if some of you have a sense that someone is, I don't want to say like that sounds really extreme, but if someone's plotting against you, or if there's something that you need to know before you move forward, then it's really important to make sure that you have that first. But it does feel like this week there's a major big focus on your future and leaving behind things of the past. Again, we did have that little bit of reflection on a moment of weakness, but you are really releasing some burdens, releasing some of those feelings that might be causing you to blame yourself. Any baggage that you've been dealing with, you are gaining a lot more maturity over your emotions. And it sounds patronizing, doesn't it? I don't mean it that you've been immature. It doesn't mean that. It just means that instead of allowing the emotions to rule us and rule our decisions, which sometimes people can take advantage of, you're kind of learning how to stand in your power and to have that discipline and not fearing the confrontation that comes with that, and not being afraid of losing a few friends or people if they are not agreeing with your personal boundaries and your self-care, because they're clearly not the right people. So a big week kind of a discoveries. If you think about it, you're really kind of figuring out what you need to do, and because of that, you are moving away from situations that you're recognizing that actually aren't for you, and have not been bettering you, etc. So major enlightenment, shall we say, and that's very similar to that Sun card, is where things are really out in the open now. Like there is nothing that's going to be hidden from you. It does feel like you are going to kind of see the things that have been hidden from you and make your decisions. Like you're getting a lot clearer, and that's your strengths, as we saw. So anyway, my angels, I love you guys. I wish you guys all the best. It's not the most like upbeat reading, but life isn't always that way. So I hope that if you're watching this to now, then there's something in this reading that has helped you, or has given you a little bit of a fresh perspective, or some sort of optimism of how to deal with it. So I love you guys, wish you all the best. Make sure you like and subscribe. But aside from that, I hope to see you guys next time. All right.